As a human, the only true consciousness we have or ever will experience is our own, until technology advances enough to allow us to experience other consciousnesses. You can never be sure that the person in front of you, the person you loved, everything that you cared for and ever will care for, is not just a fabrication, either of your own mind or of some higher being, or a simulation. You might think then that one can only be sure of one's own actions, and that you truly made them out of your own free will, of your own thoughts, and your own decisions. Yet there is no evidence that your thoughts were not planned, that they were not supposed to bring you to think and to start reading this currently whim of mine. Suppose you go to make yourself a cup of coffee. How, then, can you be sure that you thought about it on your own, and it wasn't destined, for lack of better words, for you to make a cup of coffee at that exact instance of time? How will you prove that anything before you were born has happened, other than the fact that some wrinkly old human beings with worse health than the average person and whiter hair tell you about it? We often keep lamenting about the past, and unnecessarily so, or so it clearly seems to me, and to the decline of our future, for we waste precious time on resenting, hating, or still living in the past. It has been heard and said by everyone over a million times that time is precious, it must not be wasted, and yards and gallons more than I could ever write in this. And yet, we keep doing the things we don't want to do, living the life we don't want to, pleasing the people we don't want to, and worst of all, trying to convince ourselves that we are okay with doing all of this. No one understands the true meaning of life, death, and time better than someone about to die. Imagine yourself about to die. How would you describe your life in three adjectives? For most of us, it would be normal, boring, and wasted. We have heard that one must live in the present and enjoy every moment that life has to offer, and I could not agree more with any other statement. We live every moment as if we have infinite lives. The past, while important, is not important enough to waste time brooding over. Learn what you can from it in order to better your present, and try to remember as many happy moments as you can, for those are the ones that will flash before your eyes right before your death. The future is uncertain, and even the most skilled fortune tellers can only make vaguely ambiguous guesses that luckily apply to almost everyone. Living in the present is the only way to actually live life, and all the moments it has to offer. This includes the sad ones, the happy ones, the angry ones, and especially the easily forgettable ones. What matters in the end is not if you are a good person to the world, for rules change, people can be swayed, and almost no one knows exactly what you have been through. No, what matters is that you have been good to yourself, and in your eyes have been a person who has given proper value to each moment in his life. For every memory of yours is in the past, and every present could be the last present we ever have. Even in our most darkest times, remember only one thing: nothing lasts forever, not even this universe itself. Everything is always changing, little by little, until it has changed too much for our brains to trick us into believing everything is fine. The only thing constant in life is change. Change is and always will be happening. No matter how much we try to stop it, it will resist our efforts even more. What differentiates us as humans from the animal kingdom isn't purely our intelligence, bipedal nature, or even the DNA. Rather, it is our ability to adapt, our passion to better our forefathers at every step, and our curiosity to know about every single aspect of our still mostly unknown universe. That is why we are where we stand, as the most powerful known species on the planet. We do not have the ability to camouflage like chameleons, superhuman strength like gorillas, or great eyesight like eagles. The only thing that we have is our minds. Countless people have dedicated their entire lives into discovering more about our brains, and yet we still know so little about it. And yet sometimes one cannot but wonder on what basis do we deem ourselves to be the smartest species on the planet? For it seems to me the deer, oblivious to our complicated and messy world, is far happier than a learned scholar constantly fearing about the state of the world affairs. All other animals and plants around us that we subconsciously classify as something non-human might just be better off than us. Maybe being smart is just a curse, yes, a plague, that our beautiful earth has contracted in the form of humans. As human civilization evolved in many pockets across the globe, nearly every single one of them had some form of a concept of God. Some people believed and worshipped nature and its spirits. Others yet believed in a supreme almighty figure without any human form, and some others yet came up with idol worship. Atheists and believers are always arguing a pointless debate about whether God exists or not. To me, it seems that our ancestors were much, much smarter than us and created these supreme beings simply as a way to prevent us from straying off the path. Take, for example, praying to your God. When you pray to your God, you usually do one of two things. You either ask for something or you express gratitude for something you already have. In the former, it helps visualize what goals you would have in life, or what would be the one most important thing that you would like to achieve, more so than anything else. In the latter, you remind yourself of what are all the things you have, and thus helping us be less greedy and try to help others who aren't as financially good as us. The question of whether God exists or not is itself a waste of time. Either way, it's you who must work hard. It's you who must put in the efforts to become the best version of yourself. God won't be helping you there. Where God might fit into the picture for you is by giving you more motivation or a stronger drive, by channeling your subconscious mind, or simply just giving hope in these trying times. I myself majorly agree with what 17th century philosopher, mathematician, and theologian Blaise Pascal described in his famous Pascal's wager about gods. In it, he states that the ones who believe in gods, logically and statistically, would be able to experience a vastly more preferential condition of existence compared to those who don't believe in God. If you live your life with the assumption that God exists, and if they're wrong, the only thing they've wasted is some amount of time and pleasure. On the other hand, if you live your life with no regards to God whatsoever, and God does exist, you would have to be prepared for eternal suffering, while if God doesn't, there is nothing lost and nothing gained. However, I take it one step further, in that for me personally, assuming the existence of gods is much more comforting and practical than to constantly remind myself that there is nobody out there looking over us, and there is nothing after death. After all, doesn't everyone today need a bit more hope and happiness in their lives? I would like to end this video with an amazing quote by an unknown author. If you hold a gun and I hold a gun, we can talk about the law. If you hold a knife and I hold a knife, we can talk about rules. If you come empty-handed and I come empty-handed, we can talk about reason. But if you hold a gun and I only have a knife, then the truth lies in your hands. If you have a gun and I have nothing, then what you hold in your hands isn't just a weapon, it's my life. The concepts of law, rules, and morality only hold meaning if they are based on equality. The harsh truth of this world is that when money speaks, truth goes silent. When power speaks, even money takes 3 steps backwards. Those who create the rules are often the first to break them, for rules are chains for the weak and tools for the strong. In this world, anything good must be fought for. The masters of the game are fiercely competing for resources, while the weak sit idly waiting to be given a share.